Welcome to Graphic Online TV. Today we have with us Nurse Naomi Oyoe Ohene Oti, Head Nurse of the Cancer Center, Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. She's one of 100,000 nurses who bid for the Aster Global Nursing Award in Dubai. She came out as one of the 10 finalists, and last Monday, she came out on top as the winner of the award. We are grateful to have her here to talk to us about the award and her life in general. Thank you, Nurse Oyoe, for being with us.
Thank you very much.
My first question is, how do you feel about the award?
First of all, to God be the glory. It's quite humbling and deeply emotional to stand on this big stage and then called that I am the winner for the 2025 Aster Ghanaian Global Nursing Award. It's quite humbling because we had, as I said, the 10 finalists all had beautiful stories. And I mean, they've made impact in their various space. And then to come out as the one who had been nominated for that award is quite humbling. As I said, to God be the glory. And also, I see it as not just a recognition, but as it to the resilience and the dedication and the potentials of nurses across Ghana, Africa, and the world. I also see it as in recognition of the, let's say, unseen heroes in healthcare, especially cancer nurses who are doing their best to give the needed care to our patients, irrespective of their limited resources.
When you say you all had stories to pitch, what was your story?
Okay, so there were about 5 areas that you needed to have made impact. One was nursing leadership. The other was on nursing education. We also had nursing practice, community engagements, and there was one on research and innovations. So these 5 areas, there should be some impact, but you should take 1 as your main and 2 as a supporting area. So I chose nursing leadership and then education and research as the supporting area. So in terms of nursing leadership, I led the, some would say I launched the first oncology nursing education program in Ghana in collaboration with Cross Cancer Institute. I also was part of that program. Was being held until the emergence of the Ghana College of Nurses and Midwives program. I also was part of the team to develop the curriculum for the Ghana College of Nurses Education postgraduate program. In sustaining the what we had with Cross Cancer Institute, we also initiated an in-house, as people would say, CPDs, continuous professional education program, just also to make sure that this is, will I say, sustained. And because of, oncology is evolving every day, new things are coming. So there is a need to upgrade our nurses' knowledge and skills so as to be able to give the needed care to a patient. So we did that. We also initiated community engagement campaigns, awareness campaigns within our center, where we're going out to be able to educate the populace around us. The reason being that we also saw that in an earlier on in our career, we saw that a lot were coming in very late, more to maybe lack of awareness and improper referral pathways, and also there were limited pathology labs around. So these are some of the things that we did in terms of leadership. Over there, we also had the opportunity to lead the nursing group at the African Organization of Research and Training in Cancer Care. And for the first time, we did establish a special interest group for oncology nurses so as to be able to hear our voices. We come together, collaborate, and talk about various challenges and see the way forward. We were able to push nurses' voices at that whilst we were at that, will I say, position. I was there for 2 consecutive terms. I was on for 2 consecutive terms. So in that we saw that we had pockets of trading within Africa, and we saw that there is a need for every patient deserve quality of care, and every patient deserve being nursed by a specialized nurse, because research has shown that competent nurses and competent and skillful nurses always improve patient outcome. So it was something that we really wanted to do, and we thought it wise that we would develop standards so that all countries could use it to be able to develop curriculum for training, so as to be able to harmonize the training, so that training in Ghana should not be different from the one in Kenya, should not be different from in Egypt then to the south. They should all exhibit, if it's at this level, they should all exhibit the same skills as their compatriots in the Western world. They should all stand tall, shouldn't feel that they have less skills than the other, because every patient deserves the best, be it in Africa, be it in the Western world. They all deserve the best, irrespective of limited resources. That's what I see. So this is what we did. It was voluntary, so we didn't have any fund. So I had a lot of mentors with the support of them, and other colleagues, both international and within Africa, came together to be able to develop this competence. It has gone through first review. I needed to go through another review, then the implementation. That is what so those are some of the things. We're in collaboration with the Cancer City Challenge. We've been able to pitch the voices of nurses as oncology nurse expert in that. We're also in collaboration with ASCO multidisciplinary training program. We've been as one of their oncology nurse experts. The Cancer City Challenge treatment guidelines for Kumasi. I was the International Society of Nurses in Cancer Care oncology nurse expert to make sure that nurses' input are seen in that treatment. So those are some of the things in terms of then for education, in supporting to develop the program. I also joined the program and came out as one of the first cohorts, and now a faculty. Joining in helped to shape the program as how I want it to be, and then also a faculty member for that program. So for the education part, those are some of the things that we've done. And we've been able to, in collaboration with Oti, we've been able to recently train 48 nurses in nursing policy and leadership to be able to empower them. We see there's a big gap between the bedside and the boardroom. Different people are pitching in the boardroom and bringing it to those at the bedside to implement. It doesn't hold, and it doesn't make the implementation you really realize into the patient output. So we thought it right, we need to empower our nurses to be advocates, to be able to put input into policies, so as to realize that there are various cancer control activities to be realized and then translate into patient outcome. So we want to empower nurses in that field. And we did that, and in collaboration with International Society of Nurses in Cancer Care, we also have trained 135 oncology nurse leaders in breast cancer care and also leadership. So as trained the trainer, because we see that breast cancer is one of the leading female cancers in Africa. And we deemed it fit that there's a need to educate for the health professionals when they know that they're able to do the screenings and know where the patient are supposed to go and help lead the patient to the right places so that they get prompt treatment so as to increase survival. So those are some of the things. And we have had a lot of success stories where some are leading bigger like say screening programs within where they are in. So those are some of the things that we did, and then we pitched. And in terms of research, we've had some few papers to our name, and we were part of the Ghana Breast Health Study. We came out with certain risk factors because we saw that maybe our risk factors may be a bit different from what is happening outside. Not too different, but there could be some differences that will be just peculiar to us. You know, in the Western world, most Africans are there. Some would say, excuse me, say adulterated. They've been there along the environment. But for us to get the indigenous Africans and see what their risk factors are, so as to enable when they're educating the people, they will be able to do that better, and then also get a better, maybe in terms of treatment, if in relation to that. So those are some of the things that we were part of. We were also part of, we wrote clinical trial, best practices in clinical trials. In Africa, clinical trials in relation to cancer is a bit minimal. And there is a need, and clinical trials have been seen as one of the areas that also supports patients. Maybe depending on their stage of disease, and the conventional ones are not helping. But when they jump into clinical trials, it also helps them to be able to prolong lives and things. It also helps us to know what medicine works and what is not working. But our people do not have the opportunity to jump into clinical trials. So we wrote some from the Ghana perspective. We were a team, but I wrote for Ghana perspective of what is happening and what are the processes that you could go through when you are doing clinical trials. Also wrote on something on patient engagement, how we could be able to engage patients on clinical trials. And with the Ghana Breast Health Study, there are other molecular studies that have come up that have been published. We also wrote something on climate change. You know, Ghana, we are battling with some climate change, even this galamsey issues. We should be looking at what the effect in later on, what will our cancers be, is there any relationship? Because there have been some documentation. So it was something on climate change, Ghana's perspective in relation to cancer services. And then we also wrote something, because we did mapping for oncology nursing in Africa, which we applied around COVID time. So those are some of the things that we did. So those are some, if I can remember, those are some of the, we also, in surveillance, cancer surveillance, I'm the registry manager for Accra Cancer Registry. It's by interest we pushed with one director to be able to establish cancer, because we need quality data to be able to tell our burden in cancers, not just extrapolations. So we have Accra Cancer, there's Kumasi Cancer Registry that are trying to come up. Then it needs support, because if we really want to know the exact burden of our cancers, then we need these registries to thrive so as to be able to help us get quality data, to be able to predict our cancer. And also we help us to plan, as to know the resources that we need for our cancers. So those are, I think, those are the areas that I pitched for the Attack Global Guide and award.
That's very extensive. But I'll ask, do we have a lot of oncology nurses in Ghana and Africa?
They are coming up. Initially, it was for Africa. It was in Egypt and then South Africa were the ones who were doing the training. How many, and looking at it in terms of they will train according to capacity, what they have, how to train. So in Ghana now we have about, those in practice, we have about 63.
For the whole country?
For the whole country.
Or Korle Bu?
No, for the whole country. They are disseminated. For Korle Bu, in that time, we only had about those who were, we have levels of training. At that time, we had there was, when I started nursing, only one oncology nurse in Korle Bu at that time, and there were two in Kumasi. One immediate, not long, just left. I'd seen the economic, had opportunity and left the shows. So they were became like only two in 7/20 million at that time. And so that was the drive to know more, to do something, to equip our nurses who are working. And that, I think, that also pushed nursing, what we did pushed cancer nursing into a particular level, that it's not just an ordinary nursing that we're doing. This, it requires skills. And I think out of that 2016, I had an award for that implementation of that collaboration with Coast Cancer Institute. I had the award for ISNC, the International Society of Nurses in Cancer Care, 2016 Past President Award. They're looking for someone with from the LMICs who have done something great which can be replicated in other countries. Okay. So in terms of oncology, not having it and pushing for that oncology nurse, that collaboration, and making sure that our nurses are some equipped to be able to deliver some level of cancer care to our patients. So I was awarded for that in 2016. Coming on 2022, I had an award from the Ministry of Health for my, in terms of my impact in education and research, global, locally and internationally, yes. Then 2023, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwife Association also honored me for the Dosia Kisei International award, which she had really, she was the first nurse who had PhD, and also her tremendous inputs in nursing, both locally and international, pushing nursing further than international. So Dosiaki says International Achievement Award, I had that. So, but there have been some fellowships, award over the years. I've done some observations. One, the first turning point was the one I had from Mayo Clinic, who I say a shout out to Professor AJ in the US now, Prof. Kuram, who used to be the head of Professor Noguchi, and Professor Clegg Lamte, and then our director, then Prof. Yanni, and then Professor Vanderpoy at that time, and my head nurse, Madam Serapa at that time. I had the opportunity to go to the US to do clinical trial coordination. That time we were doing clinical trials, trial coordination and breast care. And that was a shift for me, that I don't want to be an ordinary nurse. I need to equip myself to be able to give the necessary care to our patient. So they did a very tremendous work to start cause the shift in my journey, and the drive and the passion to upgrade and also mentor others to be. So now we have about 62, all decentralized, but their levels, they are now postgraduate level, where they have the prescription, they have prescription rights for some, so that's helping decentralization of some cancer services such as chemotherapy, and they have some have instituted small oncology units within their area, get the needed teams where they don't have, they collaborate to do in the phase of COVID. Left have something that is, now we have in electronic phase where they are doing Zooms and other things, just to be able to get the input of all other teams, the oncologists, physicists, the surgeons, all together to be able to make inputs and plan the care for our patients. So I think it's more because it's self-funded. Pharma came in a little, a shout out to Hoffman La Roche Product Limited. They came in to support a little. Initially, it was just 3. They started with 3. The next batch was 3. And then when they came in, it pushed to 6, 10. Now we're having 20. But they need more support because it's self-funded. Not like our other sister colleges, the Ghana College of Nurses and Midwives. needs funding to be able to help them to be able to train more nurses. So so far we are hoping that this funds that we had will be able to help us to be able to do more.
So when we say specialist oncology nurse, are you the only one, or how many are you specialists?
Especially oncology nurse, we are about 63.
Specialists.
No, okay. In addition to 3, we are about 66 nurse specialists.
So what is your educational background? Let's
It's
start from
me.
you.
Okay, I have a bachelor in nursing with
Where did you start
psychology.
from?
Okay,
Secondary.
secondary Achimota School, then to University of Ghana, where I had my bachelor in nursing with psychology. Then later on, did the Cross Cancer Institute about a year, the program and the distant education. Then further went to KNUST, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, to do a master's in public health. Yes. Then later on went to do the postgraduate residency in oncology nursing with the Ghana College of Nursing, which was 3 years. And the entry point, we at least should have had a bachelor in nursing. We had people who are masters. At that time, I had a master's. And we even currently have people who have PhDs and want to, because it's different. It's skill-based, it's residence. So those are, we want to equip them at that higher level. It also helps in retention.
Yeah.
When you give people skills, you give them new challenges, and they are making certain decisions. It helps them to be able to feel wanted, feel, inclusion in the whole thing. So I think also helps in retention of them. Yeah.
So from your younger ages, were you always like focused on being a nurse, or it just came by chance, or what?
I won't say by chance, because I had a choice of applying to do any other thing, but I just said nursing. There was this nurse in our vicinity. I think the dexterity at which she was always.
Where is that?
Yes, atomic. I stayed in Ghana, Gaye quarters, Ghana
okay.
Atomic Energy Commissions. Yeah, because my dad was working there. So with the dexterity at which she exhibited and the professionalism, and she was always on point, and anytime she was always solving people's health issues, people go to her. Even at dawn, she would get up and then intervene. So I really,
yes,
there was that connection of being to support people, to help people. Even in our family, got to when people are going to the hospital, I want to go with them, to support them and go with them. So that was to be able to care for people. So that was it. But still have the drive to really go higher. That was it. There was no bargain. I didn't really, and my dad was very supportive in that, and had some, I would say, far mentors, looked out for people and higher, especially ladies, and said, if you really want to go higher, and they also did this. They were able to go. They went to the universities. They did that. So it's like some people that I could look up to at the fire, and then that was why I went to the university to be able to do nursing. So in my first choice, nursing. Second choice, nursing.
Wow.
Third choice, nursing. But it's not been easy. It got to a time I really, really wanted to leave the profession. You asked why, because I thought that we put in a lot, but in terms of recognition, yes. So, and sometimes you have people really talking to you, and you could say that, hey, if I were somewhere, you wouldn't have the opportunity. But that's what comes with the profession. It's like a social, as I said, it's not just a calling, it's a social justice, giving the necessary care to everyone you come across with. So it's something that sometimes you should expect was within a profession. But I think as an advocate, a lot could be done. Our government, there's a need to really invest into nursing. As I said, the institution of this, what is a doctor? But you saw that. And it has a lot of conglomerate, a lot of, companies put together different. And he's seen that it's nurses who have held his hospitals and things. So he thinks that there is a need. He says nurses are the heartbeats or the soul of healthcare. And then when they get it right, health systems also will get it right. So there's a need to really invest into nursing. People, because of the economic hardship, people are moving to places. People not just that, they feel that when they go to other places, they are not just remuneration, they are recognized and their input. So there is a need to look at that, to be able to invest into nursing. I know sometimes the economic share is everywhere. The cake has to be shared for everyone, but we should also look into invest into nursing. This year's nursing report that came, it's looking at the impacts into the economy, which caring for the nurses who are making impact into your economy. If you invest into them, it will impact into the economy. So there's a need to look at, because look, the LMICs are the ones who produce a lot of nurses, but they are not seen in, we are short of. But when in terms of distribution, they are seen more at the Western because of, good economic
most of our nurses go there,
and opportunities to add on knowledge and stuff like that. So it's something that we need to also look at if these things are put in place. And I know that government cannot do it, and we need stakeholders. This one was an institution who did that. So we need more institutions who could do that and appreciate nurses more. And I don't think that some don't need a lot of things, but them being appreciated, people appreciative of what they are doing and things, will also help to retain nurses. And remuneration, they do a lot of work, but the remuneration is if you look at I would say my remuneration at the end of looking at what I have invested into myself and what, it is nothing home to write about, but it's just a burden to be able to. It doesn't correspond. It's just a burden. The burden is to be able to mentor the next generation of oncology nurses. That is the burden, right? Because we've had opportunities that we thought that we could have gone, and it's by the support of our spouses that we'll be able to make. So I think there's a need to, and this is a clarion call to everyone, stakeholders. It's not just government, everyone to come on board to be able to help to solve this migration, to be able to retain our nurses, help them to feel wanted, help them to feel appreciated. And I think they will deliver and do their best to be able to improve health outcomes.
So I'm sure this award will be a consoling factor for you. You've put in a lot, but you're not getting that much. So this award will soothe you in a way. How did you hear about the award, and did you put yourself in, or were you nominated or something?
Thank you very much. So I was nominated. I first heard it from a friend, late 2002, 2020. Yeah, 2022. Yes, late 2022.
A friend was instituted in 2016 or so.
No, it started in 2022.
2022. Okay, just like 3 years ago.
This is the fourth one.
This is the fourth one. Okay.
So the first one has been done. I think the second one, which was going to be done, and then she said, "Oh, Naomi, I've seen this award. It came. I think it's good. You should try it." And then she introduced me. So she said, "Oh, she will nominate me." I nominated her, and she nominated from Kenya. So I think I went through the various phases, but there was a clause which I didn't, terms and conditions, I didn't really read that much, was when you are called, because they have to have interaction to know really whether you said you're a Ghanaian, where you are and stuff like that. I was called. I think I traveled out of the country. They didn't get hold of me. So that was it. When I came back in reading, that was one of the, so okay. Because they were asking for certain things which I was giving them, but I think there was a messing up. Then just last December, my friend again said, "Oh, the call has come again. Are you interested?" I said, "Okay, why nominate?" So she did that. And then the rest is history that came up with this thing. It was very intensive. I must say, a lot of people that I met, I tried it, but the requirement was too much. So sometimes I have to sit down to 1 a.m. and sometimes 2 a.m. just to finish a particular part because I need to pitch it well. And one thing to the advice to the young, tell your own story. Don't let someone tell it. Tell your own story and take charge over it. And documentation is very important because everything that I did, I had to bring evidence.
Okay.
Evidence that I had done this, I have done that, I have done that. So it's very important that to a younger generation, it's very important that you document every step of the way. It's like having a diary or yes, diary of whatever you're doing. If someone invites you to do certain things, please let them just put it on paper. It just tells you that you have done something. It's nothing hard. So just put it on paper. And it helps you to also take itinerary of what you have done. Because when it's the same thing, if someone is going to assess, you said you've done something, I want to remunerate you. And then there's nothing to show you. Are talking about, I've done this, I've done. How would they be able to do it? This one was done by Ernst & Young, an audit firm. So they need evidence because you know their work. They need evidence to really make sure that really you say what you said you have done. So this is what some of the things that I just want to share to the younger generation. It's very important that you document your work. It was a very tough moment for me, but I think there was that resilience and persistence, focus. So those are one thing I've learned about this application. If you really want to get to something, you should focus, put in the work, and it will, the results at the end will be very fantastic. So those are some of the things that I want to. So we did that, and we went through. I think there were stages after. Then evidence. The next one was voting, which you all heard about it. Then there was another stage of grand jury, where I was meeting the la creme de la creme in healthcare, the WHO consultants and things.
They interviewed you?
Yes. Now you have to pitch everything that you said that you've done in 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yes, and it's 5 minutes. Maybe they will give you a minute as an addition, just to convince them that you deserve the award, which by God's grace we did, hoping for the outcome. But everyone had beautiful stories, and I always say them, they are all winners. Our other 9 finalists. Yeah.
How long have you been working as a nurse?
6th June will be my 24th year.
24. Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So on the eve of the award, how was it like when you went to Dubai? You were now standing there with 10 people. The eve before the morning.
The eve we had to. I think the eve. We had to go.
How did you feel? What was happening?
There were, the way they've done it is like there was a lot of activities for you to do, and you have to do them. So we had to go for a studio session.
Oh, okay.
Then a dinner. No, we went out. Then a dinner with the organizers and the chair of the Aster GM thing. So then we are made to pitch again, like tell our story again. So then they were listening. So as you said, there was some. When you listen to people's stories, I said, hey, there
was this mental health person in it. I was afraid. When I heard her
a mental health, then for many years she's been working on mental health, being able to try to put people back into their various homes after a long time. I wasn't perturbed with that, but there were other also stories where they were also doing. Everyone, I mean, when you hear about people's stories, you tend to wonder, And at that moment during the dinner, people were, even in your area, someone wanted to tell them, oh, we've been doing this, we've been doing this.
Me too, I've done that.
So you just, then something said, you also just tell your story. Say it as it is. You understand me? Don't be afraid, just say it as it is. So I just said it as it is during the jury was also there. The grand jury was there.
They were still making up their mind.
I don't know. I don't know. The jury was also there, so our interactions and things. And then we were all presented with a certificate of being a finalist. Then we thanked them, we went home. Then we went to rehearse how it's going to be. So it was just like they said, like just like Miss Universe. Maybe not too tense, but this was brains and everyone just like that. We had to go rehearse how we are going to usher in, and you standing around your flag, how you go in and things. So a lot was, it could be me, it could be this, it could be that, it could be that, it could be that. But being at that stage, there was something that snapped that I'm also worthy of that, you know. Hasn't coming, coming that far. But as human as you are.
So, you know, you sent me the link, so I was watching. So when the lady said, the one who announced the winner said, I will try and pronounce this name right, I was like, it is coming to Ghana. Because if you try and pronounce this name right, that means it's not an English name that you struggle with. Before I could say that, now I was like, how did you feel? Because me, who wasn't even there.
I was, I think, with how my dressing and things.
You went with who? Who did you go
my
with?
husband.
Okay.
And a shout out to the Ghana consulate in UAE. They also came. The one in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. They came to stand in for the government of Ghana. Okay. So I really appreciate them for being there. So that means Foreign Affairs really did a great job, was behind it. So they were there with my, so I thought I was just with my husband, so just posing, taking pictures. Someone I snapped Naomi, and then I turned. Who is this? So I said, oh, from the consulate. So I just hugged them at least. Because we had a lot of Indians and people, you know, that kind of thing. So it's like we were alone. But when they came, about 4 or 5 member team were really elated that they were there. So we really want to appreciate them. And, you know, sitting, I was at the edge because, ladies dress, corset and things. So
I realized it. Your dress was beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. That dress was done by Nana Hima, official. Yes, she did a very great job. And I had, I think throughout the ceremony, right from Friday down, we had other designers that were wearing their outfit. We were wearing Christy Brown. We had the support of Christy Brown. We had the support of Vessels. And Vessels, the dress is 10% of that proceed go to the Breast Society of Ghana. So, okay. So they also supported me to be able to at least go through. It's like a pageant, actually, to go through. So on the edge, seated, everyone, so no one knew. Everyone had his or a speech which has been revised. The organizers took our speech and then revised, tried to compress it to be in a minute or two. So even when we got there, we wanted to, at least people that we thought we should have added, they said no, once it has been approved, you can't add more. So I had to put all the, maybe if they are part of nursing, I have to put, conglomerate them. So we all, now the lead, everyone's speech. So we all took our speech, seated. So everyone was having the winner's speech. So it wasn't like I knew this one knew that this one was going to be called. And
you all wrote your speech.
We all wrote our
award speech.
Award speech. And our hands ready. So then she said, okay. And when she said, Nayo. then the immediate, it was like an impulse thing.
You just stood up.
I just stood up. Then in my mind, if you are called as a form of respect, I cannot just be standing there and all cameras on me. So I was moving. But what was supposed to have happened was I was supposed to congratulate and shake my other colleagues. That's why I had to go back. You saw?
No, they didn't show that.
No, I went back.
Oh, okay.
Then I hugged them. Then before I went to the stage. So that was very humbling. It was like, and around that time it was, is it me? Irrespective of it, is it me? What is happening? Is it me? Hey, you know, and the whole thing that initially I have had some awards, so I thought it's just one of those ordinary ones. But this one was a global one.
Yes, it's big.
It's big. And at that stage, 199 countries. Yeah. So it was like, later on, trying to process the whole thing. Yes, it was quite humbling to be chosen for that Aster 2025. So I really want to appreciate Dr. Azad Mopin and the Aster DM Healthcare for instituting this award. I really want to appreciate them. The grand jury also did fantastic. After the award ceremony, they sat with me, and the media were there. They were to support to also answer some of the questions, and I really, really want to appreciate them. And they made us known why they chose who they really. Then I understood. I think the God factor for me, as a faith person, I think the God factor would work there with a God factor. Apart from me putting in work.
So how would you want us to remember you after this award? What are you going to do?
Okay. Thank you. So after this award, one of the things that we put forward for the seed money to do is to complete the competencies that we are working on. We also want to develop. I am leading to be able to create a program, a nurse leaders program for cancer nurses, as I said, to be able to empower them, bridge the bedside to the boardroom. I also would develop a program for cancer genetic counseling, and to be able to empower nurses to do genetic risk assessment, because some percentage of cancers are due to genetics, and they need to know, and then when they need to look at their risks and quickly do an intervention to reduce their risks. So I also want to do that. We also want to get some seed fund for scholarships. We've seen that sometimes there are various leadership roles that are created, and our people are not. In academia, we know that academia are there, but when we come to practice, sometimes we don't have the requisites to be able to take up those roles. So we want to create a scholarship fund as a seed money. It's a foundation to be help to empower nurses to be able to add knowledge to themselves. So that when such roles are created, they also would assume, because the report came that only 25% of nurses are in leadership roles, and we form majority of the health workforce. How can you get only 25 in? Then it will suffer, because your input in policies will be minimal. So those are some of the things that we really want to do with this. So I want to be known as someone who help people to know their power, how powerful they are, and also push the nurses' voices out there, the oncology nurses' voices out there. Also be able to create a structure, develop structure to transform cancer care across Africa. And that is what I want to be known for.
Is there somebody that you'd want to say a special thank you to in a minute?
A lot in a minute. Apart from, I think I've said to Dr. Azad Mopin and the Aster DM Health grand jury. I also want to thank the church was very supportive, Church of Pentecost, the entire leadership.
You mentioned one.
Yes. Eric Nyamiche, Apostle Eric Nyamiche, chair, the chair, and IMD, our General Secretary, Apostle Bobi, and IMD, Apostle Ajman Bequin, and the directors, Women's Ministry, the entire membership of Church of Pentecost is in 195 countries. They all voted.
Wow.
Yes. So thanks to all. And my
so it wasn't just Ghana people voting for you.
So Church of Pentecost across. All across. Not just even Church of Pentecost, they all our friends everywhere, our fans. We also want to thank my local church, Apostle Tony Mensah. He helped us set up a team to be able to support me, to manage this. Yeah. Even my coaches were in, Mrs. Georgine Nafia-Benyo of MTN, shout out to you. Mrs. Gina Asante at Pen TV, she was very supportive. And all the Apiaje, Dobri, Pastor Fidelis, they are my part of my team. Dompe, popularly known to me, is an artist. Miss Enuama, Jane, and all the likes, all part of the 11, and
Nurse
some
Naomi,
of my
I can give you the
in-laws.
whole day. Congratulations.
No,
Well done. Well
not
done.
forgetting my college, Ghana College of Nurses and Midwives, West Africa College of Postgraduate College of Nurses and Midwives, the Junior NMA, Ghana Diaspora Nurses Association, all the alumni, all the schools that I went. I think I've mentioned them: Achimota, Eugene, KNUST, Ghana College of Nurses and Midwives, all the nursing and midwifery fraternity. Yes, I say thank you very much. And all West African nurses and midwives, the African Cancer Network, all of that, global, ISNCC, CCAN, ASCO,
you end up
leaving
leaving somebody and they'll come at you.
Oh, they come at me. But what I would say, and all our fans and our supporters.
You not mentioned your husband and is it 3 children?
Yes, and my husband, he is a backbone. He was the one who was directing affairs. A shout out to my husband, Charles Ohene Oti, and our 3 children, and our in-laws. My in-laws were very supportive. Yeah, my siblings, I'm the only girl among 5 boys. Yes, and my mom, my dad passed away 2 years ago. My mom and our aunties, uncles, I have all our extended family. Shout out to you for your support. Really, really appreciate that. And all who have supported me one way, who have come across, who have made it possible for me to be here today. Our media partners, thank you very much. You've been you tell our story with passion. Thank you very much. Really supportive.
Thank you too. Well done.
Thank you.
Ghana is proud of you.
Thank you.
You've made us proud.
Thank you.
Thank you, viewers, for being with us. We've been talking to Nurse Naomi Oyoe Oti, an oncology nurse specialist at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. She's a winner for the Aster Guardians Global Nursing Award, and she graced our studio today. So thank you, Nurse Naomi.
Thank you very much.
Ghana
Thank you
is proud
for
of
having
you.
me.
For more news, please visit our website graphic.com.gh or follow us on Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube and Twitter at GraphicGH.
Subscribe now.